All right. So last week on the podcast, we were kind of hinting at a potential certain special guest, a little special fun interview, a fun hangout with someone who's very closely related to certain skateboards that we like to talk about here on the podcast. And if you're watching on the video version of the podcast, you can clearly see who that is. It is Bear Walker himself. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us for a hangout on the podcast.
Give you a little intro music here.
Wake up! Wake up! Yo, where's the bear sound? Where's the bear sound?
Yeah, where's the bear sound effect?
Oh yeah, we actually do have a bear sound here too, somewhere.
Last week we were hinting at who it was, and we made some bear sound effects and a couple of jokes. Oh my god, it's here in the studio.
Perfect. Getting the mood right. Yeah, I like it.
So
I gotta jump in just really quick here. First things first, is your name actually Bear Walker, or is that just a stage name?
Well, no. So it's what all my good friends have called me since I was a kid.
Okay.
But yeah, my last name is Walker. Yeah.
Okay, I was already say that's probably the coolest name ever.
Appreciate it.
So,
thanks.
For those who, for some reason, are living under a skateboard, who is Bear Walker? What do you do? What's going on?
I'm supposed to answer. You want me to answer that?
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do?
Well, so I'm a craftsman. I'm a pop culture nerd. But yeah, we make high-end premium skateboards. Actually got a patent on this grip that I've invented where we carve out designs, and that creates texture, friction, whatever, and replaces grip tape. So yeah, I've kind of had like the privilege to make a career out of fusing like my three main passions, which are woodworking, pop culture, and skateboarding / surfing.
Nice. That's excellent. I mean, you've certainly made a big, splash in this industry, the pop culture specifically, because I know besides just working with Pokemon, clearly you've done stuff with Warner Bros. I could see like clearly behind you sports teams, Marvel. This is huge, and that's how does like what was that experience like getting like a contract to like work with like some of these companies to produce boards with them? Like how cool of an experience is that?
It's been nuts, man. It's like I fanboy all the time over this shit too, and like I've just gotten to the point where I get like early access, like sneak peeks, and it's like I almost don't want to ruin it for myself, but then it's like, I can't help it. So I go look at some of the artwork for some of the new movies coming out or whatever. But yeah, it's like again, it's like a dream job. I started this just doing it as a fan, making boards that just like spoke to me, and now I get to make boards like customs for celebrities or like official boards for releases of movies or comic books or whatever. And I just get to nerd out on like an official capacity now, which is nice.
That's awesome. That's the dream right there. To just nerd out all the time, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Got to remind myself it's a job sometimes, which it definitely feels more like a job when I'm doing like the hours of paperwork. But when I'm actually just like prototyping, it's a lot of fun.
Right.
It seems like it's a lot of fun. I like how, through your social media, you've always, given these glimpses into how the process is done. And it seems like there's just so much dedication to the actual craft of making sure the boards are perfect every single time. And I know the production sizes are getting larger and larger. I believe for this, Evolution drop you just did, based on the card that came inside, each of the 9 boards has 500 in each. Is that correct?
So it was a little bit staggered. So we had like 500 of I'm going to have to do it in reverse. So we did 1,500 of Eevee, Vaporeon, and Umbreon. We did 1,000 of Jolteon, Espeon, and Sylveon. And then we did 500 of Flareon, Leafeon, and Glaceon.
Okay. Okay. That's good insights on that. Because, we were never really able to know. I know from the first drop, we kind of had, like, an initial number of, like, there's, like, a certain amount of these boards. But then you just wouldn't know until they're sold out. And you're like, well, they're all gone anyway.
No, for sure. I mean, that's been the fun part about, it's been great working with Pokemon, and they've helped me grow as a company. But trying to figure out like the sweet spot of how to make these things collectible and make it easily accessible to fans and all that. So I think we really hit it with this one as far as there still are some available on the site where we made I think it's about the perfect amount of quantities where they should sell out soon, but there's not a worry of them getting eaten up by bots on the first day.
Yeah, which
Right.
which unfortunately was something that happened a little earlier on with how exciting these boards were, specifically with the 25th anniversary Pikachu board, which luckily
I was so
has.
sad about the Pikachu board.
But,
I was
you know,
devastated.
They came back in stock, more were made, and that was it's great to see that board be more accessible again. And I think that with how popular the boards have got, you guys have done a great job navigating, making sure they're actually getting out there, like right from the product being made to the consumer, rather than being eaten up like by bots, like you said, and put on a third market.
Thanks, man.
Right away.
Yeah, we put a lot of work into that, so I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. I think it's been great, and I think my favorite part about seeing everyone purchase them and show them off is the actual like joy of the artwork aspect of them as well, and people just really appreciating them, hanging them up on the walls. Like, to me, like that was something as someone who skateboarded growing up, just like appreciating artwork on skateboards. Like, it's cool to see now. Like, now it's just not on the back side, it's actually the whole grip, the front side of the board can actually be done with such a cool way. So I think you're doing a great job, and you've done a lot of interesting Pokemon on the board so far. We've kind of had like recently a countdown through the generations is what it felt like up until now. We had the evolution drop. Could we expect more drops to come in the future? Is the partnership still going on with Pokemon?
Oh, and I've got a good relationship with Pokemon, and we work well together. So, I wouldn't rule anything out.
Now, I gotta say, the most important question that the world needs to know here is when do we get a Psyduck?
Oh my god! No, we need the Growlithe one.
No, it's Cubone. It's Cubone. It's Cubone.
No comment. No.
Not to say that it would happen, but is there a certain Pokemon that you would like to see on a board that hasn't been on a board yet?
So, I guess since I'll just go through my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
There we
go. So, when I was a kid, I was super into Jurassic Park and paleontology and all that. I actually used to like do fossil hunting. I used to scuba dive for megalodon teeth and all that kind of stuff. So fossil Pokemon always spoke to me. This is a little bit of a contradiction, but my favorite Pokemon is Cubone. So,
oh my god, you got him.
Keep talking.
Just wait for this. You're gonna love this.
He's bringing over. I know exactly. He's bringing over a little statue.
That is awesome.
It is a heavy resin, life-size Cubone.
That is badass, man. I'm trying to like commission right now. There's this awesome artist, Jack of the Dust. I'm not sure if you guys follow him or not. He does great work. You should check him out. Free shout out right there. But he does these really cool skulls, and I'm trying to commission him to do just a Cubone skull, like life size, that I can have on my shelf.
That'd be awesome.
It would be cool. But so Cubone, Kabutops, Aerodactyl are like my three favorites.
Oh wow!
I see the pattern there, also relating to the paleontology, the fossils. I like that. Jurassic Park's my favorite movie of all time. I have Jurassic Park tattoos. I'm all about that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I could do a whole like excavation line and
That
just
would be
oh my
cool.
god, dude, the art for it, you guys could take some sick pictures for it too, like dusting off the boards. Oh.
Heck yeah. That's what I was just thinking too. Right when you said that, I was imagine just like dust or like dirt clearing, and it's just like an Amorite or something. God,
Pokemon, cool. We know you're listening, so do with this information what you will.
Great idea.
So that's great. I think that's going to be. I don't know. There's a lot of potential in the future for some awesome stuff. We've always liked to speculate on the podcast, like which ones we think are going to be in the lines when teasers come out, or we know there's a drop coming. So
I know that's kind of the fun of Pokemon anyway, is trying to guess what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's like what's going to be next, what's coming out.
So what are y'all's favorite Pokemon?
Well, for me, Cubone. Cubone, it's Manaphy for me personally, but Cubone because of my dad. That was the one like growing up. We always connected with the most.
That's cool.
My favorite's Growlithe.
Awesome.
Obviously, for me, it's Psyduck. I love Psyduck. Psyduck is always kind of like misunderstood and confused, and that speaks to me personally.
I feel like that could make for a cool board too, as far as like the background elements, like the psychic waves or or whatever. Could be really cool.
Maybe a question mark around that. Yeah. Ooh, okay. I'm just saying, if you're looking to sell out of a board, That's probably the one you go after, right
The
there.
Shadowless Podcast boards coming soon.
What's been your absolute favorite one to work on?
Let's see. I mean, honestly, this most recent EV Evolution set has been really cool. I feel like we've advanced a lot since we started this project, and so like, I guess you guys have. I mean, have you guys opened the ones that you got for this yet?
I do. I have it.
Yeah.
And I was, I noticed instantly, even seeing the pictures, it's a different shaping than the traditional ones that we've seen before.
Well, yeah. So got to introduce this new shape, and it just like, as much as I love people hanging these up as art, which I do love, I think like 75% of my customers do that. I also pride myself on it being like a really good riding board. So it's like this new shape. It's super smooth. I feel like it's just like super aesthetically pleasing. But being able to do, the EV Evolution where it's like, I got to do like a similar character, but like pretty much go crazy on the backgrounds and make it relate to each of these different types. And then, we've gotten better at making these things. So like putting more detail into the background and just having it be cleaner and like focusing on this being like the best boards we've ever made at a production level. It was like a challenge and it was fun. Yeah.
Hey, I wondered how long it takes to make one of those from like start to finish, like when you're producing them, because you're making thousands of them at this point. How long does it take from when it actually, just like the piece of wood, to the actual finished product?
Well, so there's like the prototyping stage and then the production stage. Prototyping, it took me, I think, 2 months to prototype these things. Just because I am a bit of a perfectionist too, and it's like there's that challenge as well of like making it look awesome, but then making it to where I can make 500 of them look awesome. It's like I can make a custom and it be great, but it's like there's so much variances in the wood, and like sometimes it'll be cold when we're painting or super hot when we're painting, and I have to make it to where like the gradients will like still look seamless, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, about 2 months of prototyping, but then each individual board, once we get to production, you have about an hour of it carving out on the machine. I'd say about 2 hours collectively of like the hands-on work. So like chamfering the bottom to give it a clean edge for you to grab onto, filing all the carving to make it super smooth. Then they get individually airbrushed, which takes about 20 minutes per board. Then we sand the surface, which is about 15 minutes. And then they get hand painted, which is about 10 to 15 minutes per board. So yeah, collectively 3 or 4 hours of actual hands-on work, and then like an hour of machine time.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah, so there's some work that goes into them for sure. And then the one stage I didn't actually expect to be so tedious is pack out. So like, even just like quality checking these, making sure each one is like, high quality and what's the word? Uniform, making sure it like, there's nothing weird about it. And then packing out these boxes, that takes a good chunk of time too. Like we probably spent about 2 weeks packing up these boards.
Wow.
Now I noticed with the last drop and then this drop as well, being the first drops to not come pre-assembled.
The wheels are off of them.
Was that based on people just saying, well, I don't want to put the wheels on, I'd rather hang it up just with the board itself? Was that like the driving force behind that, or?
Well, so there's a couple things to that. One of them was I feel like it's a better reveal, like you lift up that layer and there's the board and you can actually like touch it and hold on a lot of stuff, and then you take off that other layer of foam and there's like all the components laid out. And I also thought it'd be a little bit more interactive with the customer. It's like if you do plan on skating this, I do think it's important to know where each thing goes and why. So there's that element to it. But yeah, and then one of the big pieces of feedback we did get was that people like to hang them on the wall, and a lot of times it's deck only. So people were actually disassembling their boards and kind of scuffing up their parts and all that, and kind of putting them to the wayside. So this way, if people want to hang up their boards, then buy like a trick deck somewhere else and put the components on it, they're open to do it. I just thought it'd be a little bit easier, and it makes the pack out a little more seamless for us. We can get some things prepped beforehand and then load the decks in.
Nice.
I like the idea, and I noticed with the presentation when I looked at the Evolution board that I got, it was nice to like lift up that piece of foam and like very aesthetically pleasing, just seeing like all the parts right there, and I'm like, ooh, This is fun. Like
That's
I
awesome.
feel like
It's like a tech deck or something.
I was just about to say a tech deck.
Now, putting it together and assembling it did bring me back to my days of skateboarding and working on my own skateboard. So it is like a cathartic feeling going back to it and being like, man, the hours I used to do this growing up, and it's nice, you know. And you know, I like proudly displaying them. I think they're really nice. I'm working on better displays, obviously. I ran out of room just behind me, so they will be
it's a little packed back there,
going in other spots. But no, every time they come out, I'm always very excited for the drops. Like, trust me, if I had one, it's really just the wall space. If I had the wall space to have every single board, you best believe I'd have every single one put on there.
Thanks, man. No, you should see my house, man. It gets ridiculous after a while. But,
I mean,
just your
a wall behind you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this is my office, and this is like subdued. Like my my house is covered.
Well,
I will say that I'm the only person that I know of that has actually ridden on these skateboards here. I've
I've stood on them. I've stood on them.
Take your skateboard out.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. No. I took them out to the park. And here's the thing, I don't know how to skateboard, so...
Oh, gosh. I got nervous I was going to mess mine up, too, because I'm like, I'm going to fall off of this. I'm going to hurt myself.
I mean, like, so, you know, I make them and I know how durable they are, and I'm still a little timid about it, but it surprises me. Like, I have one that one of the first boards I ever made, like 9 years ago. I still skate, and it's got like a couple dings in it, but it's not bad. But yeah, I'll be skating, like test riding some of the new boards out, because we do that too every time we prototype, test it out, and we'll slip and slam it into a wall, and I'll just like, you know, you have that moment of like fear, and then you pick it up and it looks like nothing happened to it. So yeah, it's they're more durable than you think for sure. They're the prettiness throws you off a bit.
It's an art piece. How many? So do you just like randomly make boards often? Like how many like one of ones just like on a whim? I feel like designing a new board just for myself kind of thing.
That's honestly how I stay like passionate about it. You know, after a while, it is a bit of a job. So it's like here, I made some Wu-Tang ping pong paddles yesterday because I was bored. You know, I make guitars sometimes.
I love that.
Sometimes I'll just make like a carved out version of a movie poster that I like, you know, stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Well, if you ever make the Jurassic Park poster out of it, I mean, you know, I'll send you a DM. I'll gladly put it in offer. I'll find some wall space.
Sounds good. Yeah, I did actually just I just found out about like Whatnot. You know what Whatnot is? Yeah. So I think I'm going to be using that as like a avenue to do more of these one-off pieces, which is
nice.
That'd be neat to do.
That'd be awesome
for sure. But I do have a Jurassic Park themed something coming up soon. So
I'll be ready. I'll be very ready for whenever that happens. So count me on board for whatever it turns out to be.
When does this podcast air?
This would come out 2 days from now of recording, so the 26th.
Oh, cool.
Wednesday.
Well, you want to see something?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Uh-oh. We're getting a reveal here. Okay, so Bear Walker is he's walking away.
He's walking away.
He's bear walking away. I assume to grab something.
All right. Yeah. So my first official Marvel board.
Oh.
If you all want to see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's Venom.
Oh my gosh.
That looks great. I think I did you just tease this on Instagram like a few days ago, I feel like?
Yeah, I teased the Marvel Venom collab, yeah.
That looks awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
For anybody just listening, it's like Venom's tongue like snaked around the whole top of the board. That's so intense.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Jeez.
So I'm guessing when's that officially releasing?
Well, we're announcing it tomorrow, so for people who are watching this podcast yesterday. And then it goes live this Friday.
Nice. So. That's awesome. That looks great. And I'm really happy that you get to, you know, be creative and work with all these different brands and come up with some really cool ideas. I think that that keeps creativity flowing, that keeps your passion into it.
For sure.
That's really cool.
Here's one for Danny. We have SpongeBob coming out soon.
Stop! No!
Yeah, so that'll be exciting.
Oh, I'm going to have to get that.
This is so great. Funny. I'm so happy to hear all that's happening. There's so many cool I'm just excited for all the different types of boards. Like I remember you were doing the Dune boards for the Dune movie, and I was like, that was so cool. Like you got to make them for the actual people involved in the film, right?
Yeah, the whole cast and crew. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's super cool. It's stuff like that it's like that's priceless, right? Like that's just like experiences to do.
Like the first Iron Man board I ever made is like in Robert Downey Jr.'s house, and like sometimes I'll be like, a little overworked or whatever, and it's like. I'll remember that kind of stuff, and it's like, yeah, this is cool. I need to keep doing this.
I would bring that up everywhere. It's like, oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. has one of my boards in his house.
He's asking for my coffee order. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Now, before we let you go here, we thought it'd be fun for you to kind of partake in this little mystery that we had on the last podcast. Is what boards did we individually get, if we got any, from the Evolution drop? I did get a board. Nate has said he got a board, and now we kind of took guesses.
I have one too.
Did you?
But it's not here yet. It's still on the way because I'm on the West Coast. It takes a while.
Okay, so you want me to guess who got what?
I mean, we could do it like that. So I'll just say this.
Oh, Nate, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's perfectly fine. That's more fun. Cool. I will say that Nate's guess, because this was the one guess that was said last time, was that Nate's guess is that I purchased the Glaceon. That was the guess thinking. That was given to me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, because if Nate got one, it's either going to be a Flareon or a Sylveon situation. With Danny, I would think, I know you're wearing the Espeon shirt, but sometimes you wear the Umbreon shirt, so I'm going to guess it's either one of those two, or it could just be Eevee.
I didn't even see the shirt, and I was guessing Espeon or Umbreon for you, Danny.
So, we'll reveal.
Yeah, so Jordan, based off of you getting the Genesect last time, being kind of a wild card, I don't know, I was like leaning toward Leafeon for you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I think with the ones you've collected, I think it'd be a good.
I'm missing a little bit of green behind me. Yeah. Okay.
For sure. And then Nate, I'd say Vaporeon.
Okay.
We'll take because Psyduck, you might just be like water type kind of dude. I don't know.
Water guy.
Yeah, water guy. So those are my guesses. Are y'all revealing right now which ones you got?
I'll reveal.
Okay. All right.
I wish I had mine with me. I have to tell you.
Well,
I'm gonna have to tell too, because mine's on the other side of the house. So
mine's right under my foot.
Jordan's already skating on his.
Yeah.
So obviously I have all mine, and I've commented this in some of the comments, so like it might be a moot point, but like y'all can guess mine too. My favorite,
Oh, okay, interesting. I'm gonna say Umbreon.
Okay.
Only here's my reasoning.
Sure.
Because it feels like within every one of the drops, there's one board that's a little bit extra than the other ones, and the Umbreon one's the only one that had the extra little moon piece put onto it.
Embellishment.
And I know you're a Gen 1, Gen 2. Umbreon still fits the Gen 2, so I'm going to guess that one, even though I can completely see any one of the Gen 1s being in there as well as your favorite. But
I got you. Anyone else going to guess, or you just want to all go for Umbreon?
I'm going to go with I'm actually going to go with Jolteon for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah. I just feel like a Jolteon.
The design on the background is sick. I'm gonna go with Sylveon.
Nice.
I like the
So what's like those are three of my favorites. I'm kind of they're like my kids. I can't
they're all your favorites.
Those are three of my 9 favorites.
For sure. Also Sylveon was like when I cut the background for that one for the first time. That like it rarely happens where I make a board and the first version of it, it's like that's it. And so that's what happened with Sylveon. So I loved that one. With Jolteon, it just like with the wood tone just blended in with it so well. And I'm always a big fan of lightning backgrounds and like doing the white paint on the lightning. So that's really up there too. But Umbreon is the winner. So actually, so a little bit of insight. If you put the Espeon and the Umbreon together, the psychic waves coming off Espeon flows into the Umbreon board, and that's what's creating like, the fog.
That's what I was. So I did kind of notice because Espeon, it's central, right? It's going out from the center point, but on Umbreon, it kind of starts getting less and less, so it looks like it's coming from a different board.
That's so cool.
That's really cool.
Well, and if you look at the paint job on Umbreon, the left side of the little lines So these little rails on the side right here.
Mm-hmm.
The left side that's facing Espeon is lit, so it's got like pink and purple, and that line on the right side is pure black. So it's like Espeon's creating the light source for Umbreon too.
That's
a little
that's
Easter
a lot
egg.
of extra detail. I love that. That's really, really cool. That's really
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Yeah, it's I don't know. That's why I wanted to say that, because I overthink the crap out of these things, and so it's like I wanted to share that Easter egg for sure.
But that's what
It's
makes
so
your board so
fun.
awesome, is the attention to detail and the care that you put into them. You know, like you care about what you're putting out there. You're not trying to just make as many boards as you can and throw them out there. Like you really are putting your heart and soul into it.
Oh, you have no clue how many times I resized each one to make sure their heads were like matching size and all that, you know. So
that matters. That all matters, you know.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
The presentation value is, you know, it's so important, especially to the creator making it. So I think you've done a great job in making even every single board look as great as it can possibly be. So
I appreciate that, guys. Hey, and you know, I do have to run, but like I appreciate the hype you always put around these things, and appreciate you guys having me on your podcast.
No problem. Let's do it real quick before you go. Then let's just reveal the boards. Danny, what did you get?
I got the Jolteon.
Nice.
The little background ziggy zaggies got me. The little shockwaves in the background. I had to.
Okay, I went with Flareon. I had to go with that's my wife's favorite Pokemon of all time, so we had to get that, and she has now stolen it. So
that's awesome.
I saw her comment on Bear Walker's post about it and say, "I'm gonna need like 10 of those Flareon."
Nice. So I'm 0 for 3 so far. So
now I got Bears right. Did Bear get mine right?
Okay.
The answer is absolutely correct.
Oh wow!
We are in sync. Leafeon, absolutely love it. I did need some green. I love Leafeon. So awesome board.
Well,
but I know you got a
fun fact about that one, if I could, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that is the only one. Usually we paint these within the lines, if that makes sense. Leafeon's the first one ever where we had to freehand. You see where like the light green hits the dark green and all that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to freehand each one. There was no coloring in the lines like a coloring book. This one we had to like freehand each little detail. So that one is special.
Oh wow.
Well, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love Leafeon. The colors are great.
Thank you.
And I'm very excited. But I know you have to get going. Thank you so much for spending some time, letting us know some insight, just having a good time. We look forward to multiple more drops from you, whether it be Pokemon or anything else at this point. I'm excited to see what Jurassic Park stuff you got coming up. But where can people follow you, check out your work, and all that stuff you want to shout out?
So Facebook, Instagram at Bear Walker Official. We are Bear Walker HQ on Twitter. And then our website's bearwalker.com.
Awesome.
Simple.
We'll go check all that out. Thank you so much again for hanging out with us, and hopefully we'll talk to you again in the future about more of this.
Thank you all. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Bear.
Thank you.
Take care.